drop-down menu under your wallet address. Do you want to power up into Steam Power? When you power up into Steam Power, that gives you the ability to do this. Right here. You can vote up things. Upvote or down. I'm not going to do it because that burns up power, but upvote or downvote. And that adds money to this person. It also can add money to you because you're curating content. You're saying, I've read it, I like it, I approve it, other people should read it. So that's considered valuable, curating content. Pretty amazing project, but a lot of people consider it a scam. I don't think it's a scam. I think it's probably overvaluing content creators and overvaluing curating, but that's not for me to decide. If the system works, great. So you can convert. So as I said, you talked about you can take your Steam token and power it up, and it literally says, do you want to power it up? And you drop down how in the menu, how many do you want to power up into Steam Power? You usually want to do 20, 22 as a beginning. That gives you some Steam Power. If you fall below that, you don't really have any. And it can also be converted into Steam dollars. When you do convert it into Steam dollars, the potential is to convert those Steam dollars into fiat currency, dollars at some point. However, that's going to take a long time. Once you convert into Steam dollars, you have to go through a process of a drawdown, which I think is something like 1% every day for 7 days. So it's a very slow drawdown. It could take, I want to say 13 weeks or something like that to withdraw if you power up. So it's not, the idea is that they don't want you to take your token out of the network. That's the whole concept behind it. So the whole system is designed to reward people who are creating content, getting popularity through it, getting upvotes, and this is a big one, have a fair amount of Steam power already. So either they can be loaned the Steam power, which is known as delegating, or they've bought a lot of Steam, or if you were early days, you earned a lot of Steam. And that's what was the original concept. You would earn a lot of Steam. But now you really have to buy Steam. You have to bring a load of Steam to get any attention whatsoever. Very, very tricky to do on Steemit. It's just, while Steem, the blockchain scales very quickly and very well, is great, the social network does not scale at all, in my opinion. It's easy to get lost there. Okay, I just want to make sure nobody has any questions yet. All right, are all of you still with me there? Am I making any sense at all regarding Steem? Just want to make sure, because I haven't been able to track questions, and I don't know if anybody's still awake and interested in what we're going through here. Good, Don. Thanks. Okay. Anybody else following? Anybody else see what I'm talking about? Okay. Good. All right. I know it's not a barn burner. However, it's really, really important. It's one of the best applications of the blockchain we've got. One of the best. And it's uncensored. You can post any article you want. You may get downvoted if you really do something heinous, and I don't know what they define that is. It's not all that clear. Yeah, maybe you'll have some problems, but essentially, it's a wide open territory for you to get off your chest what's on your mind, and that's ultimately freedom right there. So, they're not interested in going too far off the wall, but still, that's what Steemit's all about, and I think it shows what is capable with blockchain technology. There is no company behind Steemit. There are some developers that work on it. Anybody can work on it who wants to work on it. Anybody can help develop it. And it's been growing and working, and there aren't crashes, there aren't issues, there aren't, it's essentially become self-managing. It's a DAO, a digital, a distributed autonomous organization, and it's working pretty darn well. So, what makes Steem so special? Well, it puts value in the content creator's hands and not the owner of the network. The owner of the network is Facebook. The owner of the network is, Alphabet or Google's main company owns YouTube. Twitter owns Twitter. Those companies aggregate all the wealth from all the work that all of us put in to making a Facebook page or making videos or writing Twitter posts or anything like that. Well, Steemit has no corporation, which is exactly what I've been talking about. This is the beauty of the blockchain. There is no admin overhead. There is nobody taking the bulk of the rewards. It's all distributed to the users that contribute it. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. It's largely an uncensored network. I don't know how long that's going to last, but that's largely the case. It basically doesn't have a censorship function built into it. You can write whatever, eventually you may not get any notice, or you may get downvoted so often that they may relegate you to not posting or something. I'm not sure how that works, but essentially uncensored, unlike Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all those. Now, the revenue source is kind of, that's sort of a complex issue. It's taking nothing and creating dollars. And I say taking nothing, it's what all cryptos are. There's no fundamental wealth, but there are people making a good living on Steemit. And I mean a good living. A couple of people we've talked about, $20,000 a day, $10 or $12,000 a day on a slow day. They're making a lot of money, and some are making a couple of $100s a day, which is more than enough for many people to just cruise on. So it's viable. It's real. It doesn't make an awful lot of sense, but it's not a scam. It's not asking anybody to put in $100 and theoretically get $5,000 out. Nothing like that at all. You do want to bring in some steam to get steam power, so you do have to buy some steam, but you don't have to go crazy with it, and you can earn more steam over time, and it's a viable product as they've described it, and it seems to be growing. It's a competitor to Facebook in name only. It's got nowhere near the numbers, nowhere near the reach, and I don't think it ever will have anywhere near the numbers of the reach. It's too complicated. It's very tricky to figure out how everything works. It doesn't have very many features, and I haven't seen them really add that many features lately. It's just sort of stayed the same for a while. That may change, but basically that's the way it is. So the good, super fast, and this is really not talking about the Steemit network. I'm talking about the Steem token. Super fast, 3 seconds, something like that. Almost unlimited scalability. The transaction blocks and everything, almost unlimited scalability. Millions of transactions, or hundreds and hundreds of thousands of transactions per second are possible, and it is one of the highest transacted blockchains on all of crypto. Very secure, never had any issues. As a service, it handles, it can be used, Steem as a token can be used as a platform. So you can have other services using the Steem platform, such as, we've talked about this, but I'll show it to you again, such as, if we go to this, I think I might still be logged in, I'm not sure. Oop, hold on. GTube. Let's see if I'm still logged in. I am. This is run entirely off of the Steemit blockchain, which is why this is the same this is the same symbol as I have on my right here, Steem. Very cool, very cool. So that means that Steem is not only a token, it is a platform. And the SMT, the Steem Media Token, is designed for video and other media-oriented projects to use Steem blockchain for exactly as YouTube has done. It's fantastic. It's really, really big. So the good, the sector, social media. Facebook needs competition. Twitter needs competition. YouTube absolutely needs competition. The whole social media network business is being completely owned and managed and manipulated by very few people, and of course censored. So that's one aspect about the Steem token that's just fantastic. I think over time it's just going to continue to grow. I also think it does have to improve. It's just not quite ready for prime time in my opinion. The funding, it was self-funded to a certain extent originally, and it's just ongoing right now. meaning it doesn't require funding to continue to develop as far as I know. It's self-funding, kind of like a Dash, PivX to a certain extent. The founder's track record, well, love him or hate him, Dan Larimer knows what he's doing. Now, he didn't do a great job, oddly enough, on Steemit. There were some issues when it first started. I mentioned the mining issues, but it functions. The system absolutely works, and it's been working for years, and it's been growing, and they've run into no scaling issues. So technically, Dan Larimer has proved his mettle. The good, it has a large audience, 500,000 signups, probably closer to 600,000 plus now, with somewhere in the neighborhood of 10% of people really active on it, and it's scalable, and it's got the highest traffic token. No other token out there is moving as much traffic as far as I know. The bad, really complicated to use. I guarantee you, well, I guarantee I can't really say that, but most people don't really understand Steem, to Steem Power, to Steem Dollars, to delegated Steem, to Steem Media Token, to curating, all these new terms, all these new complexities, makes it challenging for beginners. There are a lot of how to use Steem instruction videos and articles, and the reason for that is because it's not easy to figure out. In fact, I remember I was moving some Steem around. I couldn't figure out which wallet address to use. I had 5 wallet addresses, and I didn't want to make a mistake. Eventually, I found out which one it was, and it was tricky to get to. But that's the problem with Steem right there. And that's one of the concerns I have about EOS, because it's the same brain that developed that level of complexity for Steem, which I don't think a lot of it was necessary, but I'm not the one who developed it. He did, and he was there when the slate was blank. So I give Dan Larimer a lot of credit. But I'm concerned that EOS may have some of the same, just extra layers and extra steps in it. But we'll see how.